Hi everyone, welcome to another rider Pilates session. We're going to be using a step in this session. Steps are absolutely brilliant for helping to challenge your muscle groups in just slightly different ways, but also they're really useful for developing that all-important dynamic stability that we need in the saddle. It doesn't matter what size step you have it as big or as small as you feel that you need today, but whatever you do, make sure it is stable and make sure the grip is good, but also comfortable for your feet. One of my steps is if you've got really hard grips and it's just not comfortable, you can't do some of the exercises well on it. So let's get going. And I'd like you to just start, think about your posture before you start. So equal weight in your feet, soft knees, head lights forwards, relaxed shoulders and that nice elastic spine just drawing you up really tall. Make sure your breathing is nice and regular. And then we're going to get going with some walking. So we're going to go on the spot to start off with, thinking about your opposite arms and legs moving in synchronization, and think about those ribs, keeping them sinking down towards your pelvis so we're not losing all that movement out through the front of your ribs. Then we're going to change it and we're going to do this in the wide position. So feet out wide, and you're still going with your opposite arms and legs, but just watch that your body doesn't join in. So we're looking for that stable, soft, controlled center and the movement coming through your arms and your legs. Okay, let's bring your arms back down, keep your feet in the wide position into a little mini squat, arms to the side, then we're going over, hand onto the knee and pushing top fingers and toes as far away from each other as possible for a nice big stretch. And then to the front, same thing to that same side, good big stretch and lengthen. To the front, we'll do one more to that side, good big stretch. And then we go to the other side, so open, push those fingers and toes as far away from each other as possible. To the front, and again over, good big stretch. We'll do one last one, good big stretch. Okie doke, lovely. Bring your arms back down, go to the end of your mat with your feet together and your knees nice and soft. Hands on the front of your thighs, tuck your chin into your chest, and then you're sliding your hands down, trying to move every single vertebra one at a time so your pelvis moves last. And again, as you breathe out, tuck down with your pelvis, and then you're trying to stack every single vertebra one at a time through your low back, your mid back, upper back, through your neck and forwards. And again, chin into your chest, and this time curl up as tightly as you possibly can. Breathing in, and then as you breathe out, down onto your mat. And we're going to start off with your shoulder bridge, and we're going to start off without the step, just to get your body warmed up. So remember, with your shoulder bridge, you want your feet reasonably close to your bottom. Just reduces the chance of getting cramp in your hamstrings. Then pelvic floor onto floor 3. Roll back so you imprint your low back into the floor, and then you're peeling up each vertebra in turn until you get to the top of your bridge. Nice, relaxed breath in at the top, breathe out, and then you're coming down each vertebra in turn through your imprint to neutral. Looking for that lovely control with the relaxed breathing at the top. We'll do one more just like that. And then we're going to do a few slightly harder ones, so straightening one leg, imprint, peel up. At the top, swap, straighten the other leg, come back down through that imprint, so you're working hard to control that movement just on one side. So you're using one set of your glutes much more than the other. Well, in fact, to be fair, it's all your hip muscles. Keeping your pelvis level all the way through. We'll make this your last one. Looking at that lovely controlled descent through your imprint. Okay, bring your leg down. You now need to put your step underneath your feet. So find wherever feels comfortable. Needs to be a fairly comfortable angle. Again, you'll probably find that a smaller step is easier for doing this if you're not used to doing it. We're going to do exactly the same thing. So you're going to pelvic floor, imprint, and peel up into your bridge position. Relax breathing at the top. coming back down through your imprint to neutral. So what we're getting here is a greater degree of opening through your hips. You're having to work much harder for a completely different range. And it changes the challenge that you've got when it comes to controlling your back movement, because your hips are at a different angle. So it's all good to try and make sure that we can be strong and controlled in our movement through all sorts of different positions, and adding in a step is just a nice way of doing that for this exercise. Okay, stay up in your bridge, make sure you're breathing, and then see if you can do some of those little hip dips. So keeping your knees nice and still, and you're lowering one side of your pelvis and up, and the other side of your pelvis and up. So watching as always, you don't drop one side and lift through the other. One side stays still as you drop the other side. If you feel you're getting a bit crampy in your hamstrings, come back down, have a breather. Okay, then we're going to come back down, try and do that imprint at the bottom. It's hard from this position. Okay, then bring your hands up above your head, and we're going to just do a few with your hands at the same time. So imprinting and up into your bridge as your arms go over your head, breathing at the top as always, and back down through your imprint, hands over your shoulders. So we're looking for that nice quality of movement, synchronizing the arms and the bridge. And we're going to do one more. Okay, bring your arms down, feet off the step, and we're going to come up into kneeling for now. Just have a little stretch around your hips. So come up, so you've got one foot up in front of you, tilt your headlights up and then push your headlights forward to lengthen down through the front, and ease back off. We'll do one more this side, so tilt upwards, push forwards, shoulders staying over your headlights so you really focus that movement on your pelvis. Then we'll swap. Put the other foot up, and again you're going to tilt upwards and push forwards and ease off. I'm going to do one more this way, so tilt upwards, keep the upwards tilt as you push forwards and ease back off. Then come up into standing, and we're going to start with your step in standing. So first of all, I'd like you to have your step just in front of you. So you're going to be doing a forwards step up, so you're coming up as if you're going up onto the bottom step of the stairs, kind of a traditional step up exercise. So you're looking, think of this as like a rising trot movement, so you're guiding that movement through your pelvis, your shoulders stay over your pelvis. Let me go sideways for a moment so you see the movement is controlled as I wobble. So your movement is controlled, your body doesn't really move, all that work is happening through your legs. Let's swap and do the same with the other leg. So this is great if you are somebody who finds that your balance with your rising trot, sometimes you get a little bit in front of the movement and you tend to lead through your shoulders. This is a great exercise for helping you develop a little bit more control through your pelvis. Equally, if you're someone who gets a bit left behind, it's hard to get left behind with this. It's a great little training exercise for you. Okay, we're going to change now and we're going to do this sideways. So same principle. One foot up and you're just coming up. Now with this one, this is a great one to do in front of the mirror. You want to try and make sure that your shoulders stay level. So again, all the movement is through your pelvis. Upper body stays level. You can challenge yourself having imaginary reins in your hands. You can also make it much harder by taking your legs further apart. So you then have to control more into the descent, push harder to come back up, control more, harder to come up. Also works the inside of your thighs a little bit more too. So it's a really nice little progression that you can do easily. Let's swap and go the other way. So same thing, let's start with them small. Just thinking of that nice level shoulder position, watching you not tipping as you do that movement. So great for thinking about your body position in relation to what your legs are doing. It's a relatively simple exercise. Then again, I'm slightly wary of going off my mat because the grass is very wet. Typical England, lots of rain. 2 more. Okay, let's swap and go back the other way. We're going to give it a little bit more of a challenge this time. This is good for your coordination, but it's also good for pelvis control. We're going to do crossover steps, so coming up and back down. So you go up and back down. You can keep your foot on there and just keep going up and down. Now you'll find with this one that your pelvis has to tilt a bit because of the way your legs are crossed. That's absolutely fine. Your challenge is to see if you can keep your upper body still. So think about in the saddle, if your pelvis is moving, what you don't want is your upper body to be going at the same time to try and compensate, because that just then completely confuses the horse and mixes up your aids and shifts your weight around in ways that you don't particularly want. So this is another good one for just practicing stillness through the upper body, even though the pelvis and the legs are on the go. Let's swap and go the other way. So same thing, you can go up and back down, so you can do the full crossover movement, really coordinate, or you can just stay up. And this is quite a good one for really loading the inner thigh muscles, your adductor muscles. So although we don't want this to be really tight and really hard so they're really gripping, because that just restricts the horse's shoulder movement, it's still good to make sure they are strong and doing their role, because they don't just grip in, they also help us to move our legs forwards and backwards too. Let's do 2 more this way. Fabulous job. Okie doke. Let's pop the step to one side and stretch out your legs a little bit. So one foot just in front of the other. Take your weight forward. You should feel it tight through that calf a little bit. Then stretch back, push down through that heel. And then again, weight forwards, step back, stretch down into that heel. And we'll do one more. Forwards, little step back and push down. Then come up. Hopefully not sticking to your mat. One foot in front of the other again, but the other way around. And again, weight forwards, step back, push down into your heel. Weight forwards, step back, push down. And one more, weight forwards, step back and push down. And then up you come. And we are going to finish there. So, nice little summary of some exercises you can do. You can pick and choose these ones if you found one that's particularly difficult or one that really highlights the difference between your sides, then you can do these so easily. You don't even need to have a step if you haven't got one. You can just use the bottom of the stairs. Just give it a go. It's really, really useful little addition to your weekly, hopefully weekly, training regime. Thank you so much for joining me. Look after yourselves, and I will see you again very soon.